All right. Can I have your name and where are you from?
Yes, my name is Winston McKeon, and I'm from Welch, Oklahoma.
And I understand you're the mayor.
Yes, sir.
And how many people in town?
We have approximately 700 residents here in the city limits.
And 1,000 in the zip code.
1,000 or so, yes, sir.
And by the way, I didn't ask this in the pre-interview, but what is the major income around here? Are there mostly...
We were discussing in our time before the medical facilities in other towns, and we're kind of a bedroom community for a lot of medical workers. We have that. Agriculture, of course, plays a big part. We raise cattle around here, grains, corn, wheat, soybeans. There's some horse people. Cattle's a major.
And you, being mayor, know of people in town who have had COVID and who have passed.
That's correct. That's correct. We've lost a few here over the past year. I think our isolation, rural location has saved us from major, what do they call them? Waves, whatever. We've had fairly decent outreach in recent weeks as far as getting people vaccinated. My wife and I both have been vaccinated. We got our second shot the other day, so I feel like about another week, and they say 2 weeks out, and you'll have full. You
coverage. Told me before you've known of 3 people who actually passed.
Yes, sir.
And they had funerals, outdoor funerals.
Right, graveside services for those folks. Well, we have people that think that some of the chemicals they deal with as they work their cattle and their other agricultural endeavors has given them some sort of a immunity boost against the virus. And so there have been some indoor services, but for the most part, people here have done outside graveside.
And also, we were talking about availability of medical services.
That's correct.
When someone gets sick,
yes.
It's 17 miles either way.
That's correct. We live equidistance between Veneta and Miami, Oklahoma, and both communities have very nice medical facilities that are affiliated with larger groups out of the metropolitan areas, Tulsa and so forth. And
they're who you go to when you're really ill.
That's correct. That's our emergency room. There are local clinics here that are open. They've gone 5 days a week, and they're affiliated with other small community medical clinics. And that was actually their outreach that provided us the opportunity for vaccination.
What as mayor have you been doing about the COVID?
We started a year ago, of course, almost to the day, with basic guidelines, strong suggestions, recommendations based on CDC guidelines. We followed our governor when the governor would set up standards for whatever situation. We would try to parallel those, encourage our local people to carry out all of the precautions to avoid large groups.
And has the general feeling here in town been compliant, or have they been?
People are fairly independent in our area, and to begin with, of course, it fell kind of along political lines, and because that's kind of where our national emphasis was. If you think this way, you wear a mask. If you think that way, don't wear a mask. So, of course, we've got that cross-section happening here as well. I think for the most part, I know people who masked from the very beginning and ended up getting the virus. I know people who have not masked at all and have feel like they made it through without getting it. So, here we are.
And on a personal level,
yes.
Have you been gathering together with friends and family, Christmas
No,
and
absolutely
Thanksgiving?
not. No, my wife and I pretty much. I retired from school, teaching school here.
Music teacher.
Yes, sir, a music teacher here at our local school in the last year, and we just kind of went to ground and stayed home, tried to limit our trips to the grocery store and so forth and so on. We have kids in Texas and we have kids in Tennessee, and we've discouraged them from traveling. Now that we have a vaccination, we're considering going to see them. So.
And do you have parents or anything like that? You're worried about?
That's honestly my first and best thought with this whole process, is that my parents had passed and that I would not have to be concerned with their health.
Wow. And then. Have you felt isolated from friends and family? I mean, what has it done for your psychologically well-being?
I'm fine. We are being in a cave we're quite comfortable with this, and it's like, well, your domestic duties, you don't have to clean house quite as much because you're not going to have any company, and so there's other aspects of this that it's. Just leave me alone. I'm just fine.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best and 1 being the worst, how's this year compared to other years?
Personally, it's probably a 5. Just it's been a year for me personally. I think our country and certainly our school children are going to be impacted for a long time.
And looking forward, I mean, do you have any ideas? Is this the new normal? Are we pulling out of it? Do you have any thoughts?
I believe that vaccination is going to be essential to being able to find a normalcy. I still am going to not hang out with people that I don't hang out with, and that's not so much. That, like I said, I'm pretty comfortable with that already. So I'm not worried about. Yeah. Whether we mask for the rest of our lives, I don't know. They've been doing it in the Orient for a while. Probably, we'll see what happens.
Very good, Mayor. It is March the 20th, and we are in Welch,
Welch, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.